Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download and 30-day free trial at audibletrial.com/spookshow. Then go over to morbidlybeautiful.com as we are now part of the Morbidly Beautiful Podcasting Network.
Oh, it's alive! It's alive! It's alive!
You'll float too! You'll float too! You'll too!
Everybody here dies by dawn. Dead by dawn!
Welcome to the Spook Show. Hello, welcome back to the All-American Spook Show podcast. I'm Josh. I'm joined here with Donnie.
Yo.
Tiana.
Hey.
And the Professor Smoke.
What's up?
And happy Valentine's Day out there to all you lovers this week. I think technically, well, wait a minute, let me see here. Hold on.
And all our haters. No.
Yeah, we're doing this before Valentine's, so I actually had to look at the calendar for a second there. This is our Valentine's episode, but it comes up this Saturday. So we're not quite there yet. So you still got time to find a Valentine out there if you're looking. Maybe you could recommend they come and watch this movie that we're talking about today with you. What kind of first date would that be? My Bloody Valentine. My Bloody Valentine from 2009. Not to be confused with the original. What was that, 1981? Just off the top of my head.
Yeah.
81? Yeah.
Yeah.
Which we have not done here on the show. Am I right
We haven't?
about that?
We haven't done it.
I don't think.
See, I always get confused about some earlier on stuff. I would have thought we did, but I guess not.
I remember one time many years ago, first couple years we were doing this. I remember throwing out, let's do My Bloody Valentine and let's get our significant others to come on the show with us.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And then it fell
didn't
apart.
work out.
Yeah, it didn't work out. We didn't.
So we did Mother's Day for Friday 13th on Mother's Day.
Yeah. Later on, like that year, I think it was. Yeah, we did the first Friday 13th for Mother's Day, but I don't think we ever swung back around to it. I'll
because I know we've done Valentine, right? Was that last year or the year before?
God damn it.
Valentine
Yeah,
sometime or other.
it wasn't. No, it was a lot longer ago than you think.
It was longer than
it was a while back. But yeah, we have done Valentine, a motherfucking movie. You know, it may not be my lowest rated movie that we've done, but it's probably the movie I hate the most.
Yeah, I've always hated that one. Since the first time I saw it, I'm like, what the fuck is this? How do you fuck up a slasher Valentine set slasher movie? But they do it. They did it.
They managed to do it. I think it's that mask, that cherub, that angel
the
cherub mask
mask
or whatever. That's the one. I don't know, whatever. There was a movie. Didn't Hard Eyes come out last year? That was another Valentine slasher, right?
No, that's what I saw in the theater, I think. Right? Yeah.
So there is there's precedent here for like some of them have been done well, and then others are Valentines.
I guess some years we just didn't do one. Is that what it is?
Yeah, we haven't always.
Movies.
No, we haven't always done it. Like, you know, this year we're trying to make a little bit more of an effort to actually do some holiday related movies this time around. Cause like, I think on the calendar, you know, we've done some of the calendar out and I think we have something for St. Patrick's Day coming up and, Memorial Day, which we have done a couple of those, maybe even Mother's Day. We'll see. We'll see what we got afoot between here and there. We'll find out. But, we've also, which I guess we can, tease this out a little bit. We're talking about it's not really you know how we always do an event in the summer where we have a thing. We're still in the planning stages of that. We're not ready to talk about that yet, but coming up in the month of April, we were talking about doing a 1986 theme and we'll just leave it there. Right. We'll tell you more once we get closer to the month of April, what that's going to be, you know, in about another month or so. But, I think that could be interesting too. Just changing things up a little bit. But no, I'm pretty sure we have not done the original My Bloody Valentine, and it's been a while since I've seen that one. But these movies are similar, but very different, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty. It's not. I mean, of course, they're not going to set out to make an exact replica of it. I guess for good, for better or worse, right?
Yeah.
But I think when you do a remake these days, why not? You should make it different. I think you should have enough elements of the original, but go a different way with it, maybe. Yeah, do a little something different.
It's been a while since I've seen that, the original one, but I don't remember there being like, I don't think the twist is quite like this, right? Where
No.
Yeah.
The twist is.
So that was again too. Probably what they're trying to do is make it so that you don't, you're basically not. If you already seen the first one, then you're not just, okay, I know exactly what's going on here, what's going to happen, or what. They try to make it so I guess you wouldn't be able to figure out the twist exactly.
Let's go around here a little bit. Donnie, have you seen this one before?
Yeah. This is actually the second time I've seen it. I believe I may have actually seen it in the theaters, but I can't recall.
I'm the same. I'm pretty sure I did, and I'm pretty sure I saw it in 3D. But like that was 2009, so
exactly, yeah,
it's been a while. I think I did. That's, by the way, that's the other title of this movie is My Bloody Valentine 3D, because that was the huge part of the gimmick of this movie. And even if you sit here and watch this, like I'm sure we all did in 2D this time around on DVD, streaming, whatever, you can see all the 3D gags.
Yeah, you see the usual. Maybe they're not quite as blatant as some of the, take for instance, Friday 13th Part 3 3D. It's not quite as blatant as some of those where you can watch
Here,
this.
take this glass, and then they just shove it right in the camera.
They literally had a yo-yo gag too in Friday 13th Part 3.
Yeah, you're right. This
And
one,
then
I don't
the
know.
eyeball
A couple spots in this one come pretty fucking close.
Yeah, this like when what's the name comes out there with a gun. I can't remember the guy's name, with the double barrel shotgun on his porch. He's like, Harry Warden, got me. Yeah, he's like doing the gun in front of the camera, kind of thing.
Yeah,
and a few other scenes like that, like not the ice pick, the coal mining pickaxe, and into the camera kind of thing.
Well, not to we do spoilers here, obviously, but not to give too much away real quick. Most of the action in this movie involves a pickaxe. Most of it, right? So they really use that 3D pickaxe effect, really swinging at you, a lot. So
yeah, I remember seeing it in the theater, and that when he threw it, at the truck, and then that was like.
And this is 2009 3D, so it doesn't probably look all that great, but at the time, it's like, oh, this is awesome! Whoa, so your reaction to the 3D, and then Avatar comes along and just. No, I'm pretty sure I did. I'm almost positive of it.
I know Tiana did because she liked it. She liked the 3D effects, right? You said back then and everything, but I never saw it.
Speaking of which, it's about to be re-released in 3D, correct?
Yeah, I seen Regal's going to be playing it on February 28th. I don't know why after Valentine's Day.
That's such a weird. What the fuck?
I guess because they're playing all this other like romance comedies that month.
I guess
so that was the only slot they had.
I get, but if you're only going to be playing it for like a week, anyways, just put it out around Thanksgiving, Valentine's Day.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Unfortunately, it's only one day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, one day. I thought it was like a whole weekend, but wow. Okay.
Yeah, no, it's just one day.
Wow.
And we were lucky enough to see. I don't know if they're bringing. I guess they're not bringing the original one back out, but we were lucky enough to catch a screening of that back when in Columbia when. Chris Bickle was doing the Lowbrow Friday every first Friday of the month there in the Nickelodeon Theater. So he was playing the uncut version of it, which has a little bit more gore scenes.
First time I've seen the uncut version.
Me too, I believe.
Of the
I never saw that back in the day. Of course, I was only 1981. I was what?
Yeah,
I wasn't even 10 years old yet.
I don't think you're going to the theater to see My Bloody Valentine.
No, the parents are like, "Come on, kids, we're going to see."
Hop in the car. Let's see a killer.
Even though your sister's like 3 years old, but
I heard there's this fancy Valentine's movie playing. What about y'all? I don't remember if you said you had sseen this before, or you said you did. Smoke. You said you didn't remember seeing it in 3D.
Yeah, I never saw it in the theater in 3D or anything, but I've seen it with Tiana, because she liked this one. Not to give away too much about what we think about it yet, but she wanted me to see it, and this was back about it's probably been 8 years ago now, maybe or so. But I think that's the only time I've watched it was that time, and then this time now.
So is this one of those? Go ahead.
I was going to say it's probably my 5th or 6th time seeing it because I haven't seen it in a while, and then my daughter's really into what's his name from Supernatural.
Oh yeah.
So she wanted to watch it. She liked it too. So.
Jensen Ackles.
Jensen, yeah.
Is this one of those ones, Smoke, you think you might have avoided because like it can't be as good as the first? I'm not watching that, and then you just.
I'm trying to remember what year was it when it came out in theaters? 2009.
You were busy.
Yeah,
there was a time in there where I didn't see too many movies around that time period. Not because I was actively avoiding it. I might not have even realized it was even coming out. That there was My Bloody Valentine in theaters because I wasn't even really going to see movies probably in 2009. That year I didn't see anything.
We were just talking about them re-releasing it on February 28th, so in a couple weeks or whatever, right? The funny thing is that the original release of this movie wasn't around. It was around Valentine's Day, but it wasn't Valentine's Day either. This movie came out January 16th of 2009. So damn near, you might as well say a month before Valentine's Day. This came
Which
out.
you wonder why. I mean, maybe they had some big stuff coming out on that day and they didn't want to compete. But I mean, this is the movie that you would exactly want to be right around it. You would think you would make more money on it.
Well,
as a distributor.
historically speaking, right? January is like Dead Horror Month. Like, this is where we're just gonna dump shit that we don't think is gonna do well. But it did well.
Yeah,
it did do well. It had a budget of, let me see, $14 million, which isn't crazy even in 2009. But it went on to gross worldwide $100.7 million. Now, I'm sure some of that had to do with the 3D. Because remember they can charge a little bit more in 3D tickets.
And I don't remember what was the deal with 3D at that time. Was this sort of not the norm for 2009? I can't remember if that was
coming back.
Just coming back around again.
It was a thing. It
had already been.
I think it was
established again or whatever.
Yeah, I think it had already, because later that year in December of 2009 was when Avatar came out, the first Avatar. So you go, like, I think you're kind of ramping back up where people are like, they want to see shit in 3D. Now here's the creme de la creme of 3D, That was
House of Wax, was that 3D? Now the original House of Wax was 3D. You would think they maybe would have tried to pull that gimmick out.
I think that was before the gimmick returned. I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but I think that was like right before the return of 3D. Ugh.
I don't think it would have helped any for that movie.
Well, that one scene probably would have been cool with Paris Hilton.
Oh yeah.
My experience more often than not is 3D sucks. In my opinion, there's Avatar, and there are a lot of exceptions to that. Some movies you watch and like, why the fuck is this in 3D?
Yeah, it depends on one that I thought uses it as a good as part of the movie rather than a gimmick is the Tron one that came out, the second one, Tron Legacy.
Well, that's where they're able to put some money into it and probably shoot some stuff in 3D and everything too, But like,
well, it fits the aesthetic because it didn't go into 3D. When you're in the normal world, it was regular 2D. Even if you have your glasses on. 3D glass on, you're just seeing it normal. It wasn't until they go into the computer world that everything becomes 3D. So it kind of worked aesthetically to that movie, which was cool. And we saw the recent one in 3D, and it was all right? That Tron, what the hell was the newest one? I can't remember. The new
Tron Ares.
Ares. Yeah.
But at least
we saw that in 3D, and it was all right.
But at least this movie was shot for 3D and intended to be that way. Like, there's a lot of movies that came out in this time period where it's just like, go see this movie in 3D. And you're watching it like, well, why? Why is this? It's just 3D for gimmicks, so they could charge a couple extra bucks for the tickets. There's no reason for it, but at least this movie had a reason.
There was another movie that came in around this time. I think that was Wes Craven's, one of his last movies. I saw it in 3D, one of his last horror movies. I forget what it was called. But I was like, why was that in 3D?
Again, just the gimmicky thing of it for it, I guess.
Yeah, there was so many at that time. Like, I just stopped. Like, at some point, I just stopped watching shit in 3D unless I knew, like, Avatar or, one, like, all right, I know that going in, this one was made for this. Otherwise, I'm not going to just watch Thor in 3D because it wasn't.
Well, one that I'm really still scratching my head over, we went to see it because I'd never seen it in the theater, and this is the only way to see it, was Dawn of the Dead, the original 1978 Dawn of the Dead. They brought back a couple years ago
saying that,
in 3D for some. I don't know why. It didn't help any with the movie, and in fact, it would have looked better if they had just done a remastered, cleaned up version of the normal print, and play that instead of the 3D because it. Yeah, but I mean, I was glad to at least finally see Dawn of the Dead on the big screen. But yeah, more to that point, it's just it was a gimmick for some reason that I don't know.
We're all just waiting for that 3D version of Crawlers to come out, right, Donnie?
Fuck off.
The Into the Dark series, 3D. Anyway, some of the background on
the turd dimension. Is that what
the turd dimension. There was like an alien or something, right?
3D, the turd. Yeah, the turd.
There was something with an alien or like an alien invasion or something in that movie, right? Crawlers, wasn't that the whole gimmick?
Yeah, I think
that movie's so like.
I tend to forget. I tend to try and forget.
But it was something about an alien invasion. That was the whole point of it.
Right? Yeah, it was. And it was random ass orange and green lighting for no reason.
Well, it's kind of like, what it reminds me of now that I'm thinking, when you mentioned that and the lighting and everything, a very shit version of Night of the Creeps, kind of.
A shitty straight to Hulu version of Night of the Creeps. Not too far off. Anyway, some of the background on this one. It premiered January 8th of 2009. That's where it had its big Hollywood premiere, but it released wide January 16th of 2009. It was produced and distributed by Lionsgate Films. Of course, this movie is rated R. Total runtime of 1 hour and 41 minutes. On IMDb, it's listed as a horror mystery thriller. It was filmed around the Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania area from May 12th to July 19th of 2008 for a budget of $14 million and went on to a worldwide gross of just over $100 million at $100.7 million. So let's get back into the Wayback Machine when we have it. We like to do this. I've got the top box office, the weekend that it came out. So this is the weekend of January 16th through the 18th of 2009. Let's see, number 10 in its 10th week was I think it was one of the big Oscar winners that year. No, it was one of the big Oscar winners, if not Best Picture that year. Slumdog Millionaire.
Oh yeah, that's Danny Boyle.
Yeah, I believe so. Number 9, Marley and Me. That's something about a dog or something, right? Like a rom-com with a dog.
I don't think I ever saw that. I remember the name, but I don't think I ever saw it.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah, something like that. Number 8, Defiance. Number 7, The Unborn was in its second week. Number 6. Number 6. Yeah, it's a real wing-ding list here. Number 6, Bride Wars was in its second week. Number 5 in its opening weekend, Hotel for Dogs. Anybody?
No.
Nope.
This is a real dry spell for me in movies.
Well, it is January. Number 4, Notorious in its opening weekend. Wasn't that
Alfred Hitchcock movie?
No. I think that's the Notorious.
That's the Notorious something.
Notorious B.I.G. movie, wasn't it?
Oh, was it?
I think so. Yeah.
I don't know.
Number 3 in its opening weekend, My Bloody Valentine made $21.2 million in the domestic box office in its opening weekend. So about a quarter of its whole run was there in the opening weekend. But it was number 2 in its 6th week, Gran Torino. That's Clint Eastwood.
Yeah, that one I did see, but I don't think I saw it too.
That's a great movie. And number 1 in the box office in its opening weekend, the big opener, Paul Blart, Mall Cop.
Oh my God.
I still haven't seen that movie.
Number 1 in anything is amazing.
Number 1, and it made $31.8 million. I'm blanking on that guy's name. What is the guy's name?
Kevin James.
Kevin James. That's at the height of Kevin James' powers right there. That one weekend in January of 2009. Then it was pretty much all downhill. He's fine. He is what he is. But yeah. Yeah. Well, they did. I remember watching that movie. I didn't go to the theater and see that, but I did watch that movie at some point later on, and it is what it is. You know, I think they did.
Did they do a sequel?
One. I think they did.
Yeah.
I think they did. Well, look, something that does that well. Yeah, they're making another one. So yeah, there you go. That's your snapshot. So really, it was kind of like, I guess, at the tail end of the holidays. So you got Slumdog Millionaire, Gran Torino. The movies that went on to, have Oscar success were still playing, and then just that slow mid-January time of year right there. Because even beyond the top 10, like, there's not much. The Curious Case of Benjamin Button was still playing. That was another big one that year. God, the first Twilight movie was still playing. Yeah, I'm just not, man, it was a down time there, buddy. Not much is jumping out at me here.
I didn't see any of those in the theater. That definitely was a dry spell of me not going to the theater. 2008, 9, 10, maybe.
I'm pretty sure I went and saw My Bloody Valentine, but I don't remember seeing any of the rest of those in theaters. Yeah, I don't, nothing that I recall. So yeah, there you go. It was directed by Patrick Lussier. I think it's how you say his name. You may know him better for one of Smoke's favorites, Dracula 2000.
Speaking of a movie I haven't seen, another movie I haven't seen.
God, don't. I know we will eventually here for this podcast, but he also did the movie a few years after this one, Drive Angry, and
that's the one with Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, I believe so. That sounds right.
Was that pretty good? I still haven't seen that one either, but
I can't remember.
And Donnie, you're gonna love this. We were just talking about it, dude. This is crazy. Serendipity. He did one of the episodes of Into the Dark.
That's serendipitous.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He did one called Flesh and Blood, which I believe was
did that?
Yeah.
I think that was the very first one.
First or second one, yeah. It's one of the early ones, yeah. So we'll have to get to that, Donnie, just to see some more work from Patrick Lussier. What do you think of that?
I mean, we'll see.
Yeah. Actually,
I don't know.
Actually, that's kind of what, I just wanted to float this out. We can do this out in public, if y'all want to. The event this summer. I was thinking Into the Dark Summer.
Oh my God, no. I quit.
Yeah. I'm out.
Nah.
I do too. I'm out.
Yeah. Come on. It's got to be better than Yeti Yankers or.
What? I don't Into the Dark better than Yeti Anchors?
Well, true. Yeah. Okay. That's at least an even split. I'll give you that.
Hey, maybe you'll find something, and
Yeah,
maybe there's something in the Into the Dark universe that doesn't completely suck ass.
That's got to be. Well, remember, all jokes aside, remember I think we only did two. I think we watched Pilgrim, and we all enjoyed that one.
Yeah, that was that.
Well,
maybe it was also because we were comparing it to.
Yeah, true.
Like it's a masterpiece compared to Crawlers.
Yeah. That's just the one that just keeps coming back up as Crawlers. That's all. Yeah. We need to watch a couple more to see if they get any better or wash the taste of that one out of our mouth. The screenplay for this was done by Todd Farmer, who also did the script for Jason X. Yep. Jason X. Straight to this one. and also Drive Angry, the movie that Patrick Lussier did, and another horror called The Messengers.
Yeah.
And he wrote this movie with Zane Smith, and best I could tell, this is the only thing that Zane Smith has ever written. So it must have been a friend helping him out or something, because the dude never did anything else again. It stars Jensen Ackles as Tom Hanniger. Hey, he's the one you just mentioned, Tiana, that Supernatural, right? Like 25 seasons of that fucking show, Supernatural, on the CW.
Yeah. I think it was 15.
I've never seen any of that. I've heard things, but
I've never seen it.
Got into it. But I did watch, my daughter made me watch a few episodes that she likes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well.
But I don't understand how it lasted that long. I really don't.
Well, the CW. If something is a little bit successful, they'll hold on to it forever. I mean,
like Vampire Diaries.
Yeah, exactly. Stuff like that. Or the any of those DC shows. Some of them were good, but most of them.
Oh yeah.
Stars Jamie King as Sarah. And that's his Tom's in the movie. Tom's Jensen Ackles' ex. We'll get into that. That's her. Kerr Smith as Axel. He's at the beginning, and then later on, he's the sheriff, the younger guy.
What's funny is that we were, because, the magic of the show, these things are spread apart, but we watched Friday the 13th, the final chapter, and this one around the same time, and there's an Axel character in both movies.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that. Tom Atkins. Mr. Tom Atkins himself as the old sheriff, as the old, the sheriff back in the day, old Sheriff Burke.
Yeah.
He's in it. Kevin Teague is Ben. He's the other older guy where they had done stuff in the past and it comes back up. So he's the other guy. Really, those are the only ones worth mentioning. I mean, that's your main players right there. I mean, did anybody else have anything they wanted to point out before we get into it though?
No.
Other than saying that, we'll get to it, but Tom Atkins has a glorious death in this one. Well, not glorious for him, for his character, but glorious if you're a splatter fan.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that.
Yeah. There's some good ones in here though.
I
remembered my recollection of this movie, because I can tell you right now, I saw this. I'm pretty sure I saw this in the theater. Pretty sure I didn't watch it again since this. So it's been a while. I mean, how long has that been now? 17 years? Golly.
Yeah.
Right?
Time flies, man.
Jesus. I remember it being gory, and I remember certain things about it, but I didn't remember everything about it, So I was kind of, as we're watching this, I was kind of surprised. Like, oh, damn, they went a little bit further than I thought they did in some of the gore in this one. Not to say that it's Art the Clown or anything like that, but.
But it's pretty, I guess, juicy for that time period, I suppose. I mean, it was rated R, right? And theaters and everything, and it had all that gore in the R-rated version, which...
I'd have to go back and
look at... Or was it... Maybe it's uncut.
No, it was rated R. It's rated R.
It was rated R?
Yeah.
I mean, there was nothing new in the video version than there was in the theatrical version then?
You mean, was there like an unrated cut or something like that?
Yeah,
that
something
I don't,
like that.
Probably, but I don't know that. Because remember, that was also the DVD gimmick at the time was
Yeah.
Everything
Yeah,
would
yeah.
they'd add or subtract one scene, and then they could call it unrated. You know,
Yeah, and get you to buy it.
yeah,
And maybe they're really deceptive. They put out the R-rated disc first, and then a month or two later, then here's the uncut version.
yeah, yeah.
You need to buy it, double dip, and buy it twice.
This did get multiple releases too, by the way. Like it came out in May of 2009 on DVD and Blu-ray. But then, by the way, there was a standard 2D and a 3D version on the same disc on that.
Oh yeah.
So I guess if you had the old 3D Blu-ray player, which that's a whole fucking thing. I have a 3D.
Oh
Blu-ray
yeah, that was
player,
the thing too. Yeah.
but like,
And the 3D TVs.
yeah, that's the
3D
thing. Like,
TVs.
I have a 3D
I was
Blu-ray
thinking
player,
about that
but you
earlier.
have to have the 3D TV. You have to have the glasses.
Yeah.
So it's a whole
everything's
fucking thing.
everything's got to line up. Not like the old school days where you just here's your red and blue things and it's shitty 3D, but all you did was had your regular TV.
Yeah.
And your red blue lenses. I mean, yeah, it's not that great. But
They
do you remember that? Going to the gas station and pick up or grocery store.
Oh,
pick
yeah,
up your
yeah,
3D
the
glasses
yep.
so you can watch The Creature from whatever on a Friday night, 8:00.
Yep. But so about a year later, they did release that on the 3D Blu-ray. So that does exist out there, and it has the regular 2D version on there too. I guess just in case you realize like, holy shit, I just bought this thing and now I can't watch it because I don't have a 3D TV. I don't have blah blah blah. Oh, and there was a well, I guess we can get into that. Yeah, we'll say I'll save that. We'll get into that later. But I don't see where there was like an unrated cut or anything like that. So maybe they didn't do that one with this one. I'm not really sure.
Well, there was a time period in there, I guess, where the gore was, it's more relaxed. Nowadays, it's definitely more relaxed, but I don't know what the year is. Like I can pinpoint things in the late 80s, where it went from gore to hardly any gore because of the whole crackdown on that slasher movies and all that stuff from like the late 80s to the early 90s. But I don't know where it started picking back up again, where an R-rated movie could get away with a lot more. But definitely in this time period, it was.
This
We
movie
had right around this time, 2008 or so, was when the French Extreme started coming out too.
and that kind of leans into what I was about to say. Like, this seems like this might have been like one of the last artifacts of that time period where like the movies kind of felt like this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. Because a lot of the movies that have come since, horror movies, are that quote unquote elevated horror or the
elevated horror. Yeah, they kind of.
like,
I guess they were trying to break away from. It was becoming sort of standard, even for better or worse. Some were. This one, I think. Well, we'll get to our.
Dude, I'd say by 2009, this was more than stale. Like with the slasher.
Yeah.
This formula,
kind of rehashing things or whatever. The same stable of sort of actors, or if not the same actors, the same types of actors.
Yeah, it just feels like
the pretty boy, 30-something, 20-something year old or whatever, and just the whole. They were all just like cookie cutter, right?
Yeah.
Time for better, like I said, for better or worse. Some were better than others, but they were all basically similar.
Yeah.
And the soundtracks. We've joked about that. All the same bands on the Disturbed and this, that, and the other thing. Whatever.
Power Man 5000 or whatever.
Yeah. Maybe get lucky and have like a typo negative or a White Zombie track or something like that.
Yeah.
Make it stand out a little bit more.
Yeah. But this kind of does feel like somewhat like the other thing too is like, even as I was watching the whole thing, is like, this doesn't feel like 2009 to me. This feels more like late 90s, early 2000s to me. Maybe it's just the story and just that whole, the way it was playing.
It has that screen feel.
Yeah. It's pretty obvious how they were angling things here, but still it felt older than 2009 to me. That's all. But we'll start from the very beginning of the movie when Harry is.
That's Sally? No.
Yeah. No, that's a different movie.
Oh, sorry.
Yum, yum. It's time for a tasty and refreshing snack. We promise to satisfy your hunger, your thirst, your sweet tooth. So visit our refreshment center now. Let's go.
Harry is the guy that was caught in this can be slightly confusing, I think, the way they set all this shit up, because like an incident happens at the very beginning of the movie where like they get trapped in a mine and then this dude kills everybody, right? This guy, Harry, he's down in the mine and he just kills all the other miners because I think it's an oxygen thing. Like, I'm going to kill all these dudes.
Made him go mad or something.
I guess maybe, I don't know, however they explain it, but it's all quickly kind of like, here, this happened, right?
Yeah.
Fast forward a year later, and now they're having a party down in the mine. Now, why the fuck is there a party in this mine? And now Tom Hanniger is a survivor of this massacre from a year prior, and he goes to the party. So my first question is I'm like, why would there be a party down there? Secondly, why would you go to it?
Exactly.
You've been.
But this is the part they carried over from the first movie, right? Because this is really most of the original. I meant not the first movie. The original pretty much takes place. All that killing action pretty much takes place there in the mine, the party, right?
Yeah.
This one, like they show that, and so I guess you have that link to the original with a party.
Yeah, I guess.
But then it goes its own direction after that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it doesn't make sense they would do that. But
I never gave much thought to like how much of a connection, or if there was any, to the original My Bloody Valentine.
Yeah,
but I guess
it's really just that the characters' names, or at least the Harry and the Axel. There's an Axel. I don't know, maybe the other names. I didn't really pay that much attention to the names, but Harry Warden and him looking like that, the way he looks, and
I knew the look. Yeah,
and that's about
with the gas mask or whatever that is, that miner mask that he wears with with the light on his helmet here or whatever, and the pickaxe and everything. I got that, but like story wise,
and really just the party scene at the mine, because like I said, most of it takes place there, right? I mean, you get a little bit of the town stuff, the lead up, but then once they get to the party, that's where all the killing.
Yeah. So like you go in there, and then like people.
Well, most of it.
I mean, massacre
outside of it, because you
in
have
the beginning, you see him killing people in the mine, but then he ends up being alive still in the hospital.
Yeah, and some people.
And that's when, holy schmoly.
But that's
kicks up the gore.
Wait, you're talking about the second one? I mean, did you talk about this remake? No, I'm talking about the first one. I'm talking about the first one where all the pretty much most of the killing action, everything takes place at the party. This one has a party, and there's some, whatever. But then most of the stuff takes place outside of the party later on. And
well, that's where it's a little screwy Louie at the beginning. Here's what my point is because it's like this thing happened in the mine. A year later, they have a party, and then there's another massacre. Then it's 10 years later.
That's
so like now we got at least 3 time jumps in the first 10 minutes of this movie.
Yeah.
What the fuck? And then most of the movie takes place 10 years later. But yeah, that 1 year later, it's pretty like, I mean, Harry wakes up from a coma and just massacres the hospital.
Yeah.
Right. Like literally like everybody that's breathing in the hospital.
Yeah.
Like, because they go out in the hallway and then there's just bodies stacked up, so it just takes out everybody and leaves. And I think Tom Atkins gives the line of the movie right there when he walks in and says, "Happy fucking Valentine's Day." You could have just said the end, roll credits right there. Like, well, we've had fun here, haven't we? Let's go. That's all we needed. But yeah, they have a party and then there's another fucking massacre. And then that's when you get the first real good use of the 3D when he sticks the pickaxe to the back of the head and then the eye, the eye is like stuck to the end of the pickaxe. So it's right in the.
Yeah, that reminded me of that, again, of the Friday 13th Part 3, whenever Jason picks up the guy and like squishes his head and the eyeballs pop out on like rods.
Yeah.
The 3D effect of the
but you get the pickaxe through the back of the head and the eye pokes out in 3D. So there's that. Then there's a guy that's running and he just fucking eats it on a beam. Like he hits his head on a beam and then gets a pickaxe to the head. And then the girl that I'm all in the mind 1 year later here. The blonde haired girl, I believe it was, when he takes the shovel and just shoves it in her mouth.
Yeah.
Shoves it in her mouth and then pushes even further to decapitate her. So it's just head sliding. By the way, 3D, it slides towards the camera, off the end of the shovel. Then it's 10 years later, after 1 year later. So yeah, that can be a little bit, what the fuck is going on here again? Some of the highlights after that, 10 years later, truck driver kills the truck driver, sticks the pickaxe to the dome. The little person that runs the hotel, she gets
nobody's safe.
No. She gets stuck to the ceiling, like just boom, just lifts her up with the pickaxe, takes the thing down, and then kills the lot lizard. She's not a hooker, the lot lizard.
Yeah. I love that scene when she comes out with the gun. all naked.
Oh yeah,
still
like
in the
she
air.
she clearly. Hold on, who was the actress that did that? Because I meant to look that up. She clearly didn't care about being nude.
No.
Because I mean, like she's like full on 10 minutes just running around butt ass naked. God, wait a minute. I just saw it a second ago. I was trying to remember her name. It's Betsy Rue as Irene. That's the lady that just runs around naked for 10 solid minutes. But like she does a pretty good job of hiding for a little while under the bed, but then eventually he just pulls the bed back and she's under there and he just pins her against the wall and then gets her through the bed frame, right? With the
Yeah.
Those are some early highlights there. So that one's pretty good. Oh, and the old heart in the chocolate box gimmick, because that pops up a couple of times, right? Where it's
Now there's another tie-in with the original too.
yeah, where they like carves the heart out of his victims and then just puts it in a chocolate candies box and leaves it for people to discover. Ben, this is Ben. That was the old guy, the one old guy. Remember, like supposedly 11 years ago, we killed this guy. Remember, there's the Sheriff Burt, which is Tom Atkins. Then there's the other guy, right? Yeah. He gets attacked into the house and then just curb stomped into the pickaxe. Like he's down on his knees and the pickaxe is stuck in the floor, and then he just forces his head over it and then boom, just steps on his back head right into the pickaxe. So that one's pretty good.
Yeah, there's a little bit of you get that the scene like a Lucio Fulci's zombie, right, with the splinter through the eye. Except of course,
I'll make you.
They didn't go to that. Yeah, they didn't quite go there.
They kind of did, but yeah, it didn't go all the way. Where it's yeah, that could have turned into a 10-minute eye epic right there. It could have.
If it was Lucio Fulci, they would. It would have been like, oh, the eye. Here's the pickaxe. It's like 1 inch from the eye. It's a quarter inch from the eye. It's like, in it.
You just would have been
slowly through the eyeball.
Everybody would have been screaming, "Just do it already!" Put him out of his misery. When he attacks Sarah and Megan in the grocery store, they run around for it's like a 10-minute long scene. They're running around the grocery store. They go into the office or whatever. But did you notice she waits until the attack is pretty much over before she hits the alarm?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
shit, I know there's an alarm in there. Shouldn't you have hit that as soon as you got into the office? But no, the other girl gets pulled through the fucking window and gutted, which kind of sucks because it happened off camera. I'm talking about the girl Megan. Like she gets pulled out of the window and then you don't see anything, and then they run around the side of the building and there she is.
Yeah,
gutted and
insides out.
Yeah. There's a candy box and I think he wrote "I love you forever" or whatever the fuck in blood on the wall or whatever. So it's a cool thing to see once you see it, but you don't see it happen. So it's a little bit of a cop out moment, right? The nanny of the house. By the way, the sheriff and the girl, they clearly, I guess they're doing all right, but she works at a grocery store. I think it's for her parents or whatever the fucking setup was there, right? She works at a grocery store. He's the sheriff. They have a nanny. It seems like
that too.
Seems a little highfalutin, right, for the pay levels, but they got a full on nanny. But whatever. She gets pickaxed and then thrown into the dryer, and then I guess he turns it on high heat or whatever the fuck, and she just gets tumbled and fried inside the dryer.
Yeah, that's another throwback to the first one. Different characters or something, but I can't remember if it was just a head that was in there.
Yeah, I don't think it was.
Whatever the case, I remember it's been a while since I've seen the first one, but there was that scene in the first one, and you hear something tumbling around, and then he also finds the box there, right? Isn't the candy box with the heart there too, inside the laundromat or whatever? Then the dryer thing gets open, and can't remember if it's just a severed head maybe in there or what it was, or if it was a full body.
Probably not quite as gruesome as this. I mean, when
the reveal was gruesome for the time, but it's a little bit more so in this one. Steam coming off.
Yeah, it's she's still sizzling. She falls out of the dryer all fried up. Right after this, old Sheriff Burke, Tom Atkins, rest in peace, for this movie, because he gets dejawed.
Yeah.
So
that's what I was referring to earlier.
I actually saw now this is completely different, but I saw this was a real life injury. This bullfighter, in Spain or wherever, bullfighter took a
horn,
got gored through the jaw, And that's what I thought of when I saw this. I was like, "Oh shit, that reminds me of that freaking bullfighter."
I obviously don't wish that upon anybody, but Bullfighter kind of got it coming, right? I mean, like,
oh, no doubt, no doubt.
You know, bullfighting. You're kind of asking for it there, dummy.
Yeah, it's not like the Looney Tunes episode, right?
Yeah. No, it's not like that at all. Pepe Le Pew had nothing to do with it. But yeah, old Sheriff Burt he catches a pickaxe through the bottom of his, I guess, right up underneath his jaw, like underneath his mouth.
Yeah,
there.
and then they kind of linger on it.
It comes through. I believe it's coming out of his mouth, right? Like it's like that, and he's kind of like and then just pulls it and just launches his jaw off of his head.
And then there's another 3D effect. I didn't see it in 3D, but I'm sure the jaw comes towards the camera with the blood and everything.
Just flying jaw. So yeah, I guess from there we pretty much have to get to the end. So the big reveal of the movie is Tom is the killer. Now this is fucking confusing and weird. Okay. Tom is the killer, but doesn't know he's the killer, right?
Yeah. He's got multiple personalities.
Okay, so is it multiple personalities or is he actually possessed?
I don't know. I guess you could think of either or in this one.
Because that was kind of my read on it. It's like, at first I'm like, okay, multiple personalities. Like because clearly they show you like they go back to the movie real briefly, show you snips of like where he's killing these people and doesn't realize, he doesn't remember it until like this moment, like, oh shit, now I remember or something, right? But then
the cop Axel had found out that he was at the insane asylum.
Yeah, that's where he's been for. Yeah, that's where he's been for the last 7 or 8 years. He was in the insane asylum or whatever. But then there's some line in there. I think it's from Axel, or Axel's the new sheriff, right? Right. Yeah. Axel.
Yeah.
He says something about like, Harry, are you in there? Or something like that. Like he's talking to him like.
Oh yeah, and then
like that's where it kind of made me think like, is he possessed by Harry? Like, I don't know. I guess you could see it either way.
I like the part where we haven't got the twist in where he's like, there he is, he's right there. Get him, he's behind you.
Yeah. So
the
like
Harry part.
Yeah. So like that's where everybody's like, wait a minute, is he crazy or whatever? And then, or did he really do this kind of thing? But like Tom is seeing the killer and no one else is. Like they're both standing there looking around like, what the fuck? And he's right there, shoot him, and he doesn't see. So that's
I guess you figure he's like outside of himself. Like you said, split personality thing where he doesn't think he's a killer. I don't know.
I guess so.
I know it shows him taking medicine quite a few times.
Yeah. So there's something off, obviously, throughout. Like, but then you also throughout the movie you kind of brush it off like, well, he has been through some shit, right? So
yeah.
Maybe.
But he's the one. But he's the one that buried.
Oh yeah,
Harry.
Yeah. And then when he grabbed the pickaxe, that's when, like, I don't know. I don't know if his spirit had gone into him or.
That's the thing. Like, I didn't read too many theories out there.
Yeah.
To see like what are the theories? Is it split personality? Yeah. I mean, because I just kind of took it like at the end, it's probably split personality, but you could see it as possession too, right? If you wanted to go the supernatural route, I think it's more split personality, but.
Well, there's that scene like you're talking about. There's a throwback to the original movie, but also the new thing is like when he's going through and knocking the lights out with the pickaxe in the mine, like busting the pickaxe out.
You see him as Harry and
it's like they're flashing.
That scene is so awesome.
They're flashing the Harry with his face. Juxtaposed on it or whatever.
It's real quick edits, but that's pretty cool. Each bulb that blows, you see the miner. Harry or whatever,
Now that part wasn't part of the original storyline as far as the split personality thing or whatever, but the scene of him going through and busting the lights was from that original movie.
So essentially, in the end, Tom, they shoot him, and then like they hit when they shoot him, they hit a gas tank or something, or oxygen tank or something, and that blows up, causes an explosion. They all survive, including Tom. He manages to get out of there alive, so he's still out there. The end, right?
I love the ending of that.
Where he just walks towards the camera. Like he
Yeah.
takes the mask
Camera and
off.
like that.
Yeah, he comes
And
out.
gives that
Little-
face.
That little, yeah, little knowing nod wink thing.
The old,
sort
the
of.
old wink wink.
If they were planning on doing a second one, but then, which I'm surprised they didn't with how much money it made.
Yeah. Well, there was talk that's what I was alluding to earlier. There was talk of a sequel to this, as recent as like say about 5 or 6 years ago, but apparently I guess it just never formulated and just never happened in the end. So who knows? Maybe one day, but no.
My Bloodier Valentine.
My Bloody Valentine 4D.
In the 4DX.
Yeah, oh God.
yeah. Now that'd be cool. Like every time there's blood, there's water splashing on you.
Yeah,
and
the
stuff.
chair rocking. Smell-o-vision.
They got somebody dressed as Harry running through the audience.
Oh, did y'all stick around to the credits?
No.
There was a but you've seen it before.
First off, it's pretty cool because the entire credits, as they're just going down the screen, they're taking you deeper into the mine. So like in the background of the credits, you see just like a camera rolling down into the mine, just kind of slowly, so that's kind of cool. But then
until he gets to Harry Warden and he's in a towel and he's like, "You're still here?"
Pretty close. It gets to the end, and then sure enough, there's a miner, Harry, whoever it is, right? Tom, whatever. There's somebody in the miner outfit, and then that's how it ends. Is you get one last swing of the pickaxe towards the screen. So
I remember that.
So clearly, it's just one more like 3D effect.
One more,
it's just
final 3D effect.
The pickaxe coming at you. The end. So. There you go, My Bloody Valentine 3D from 2009. So this was more of a wild card pull, so none of us in particular did it. So I guess I'll start. I mean, like even all these years later, I still had fun watching it. It's pretty gory, like a little gorier than I remembered it. A couple really good kills in there. Maybe it's a tad bit long, but I mean it doesn't drag too much. They keep the action going pretty well throughout the movie. Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it for what it is. I mean, that being said, I mean, it's not as memorable to me or as good as the original, which is pretty rare anyways, right? How often do the remakes outdo the originals? But, because there are certain things about that stick out to me more than this did. But I think for 2009, and there weren't a lot of movies like this at that time, I don't think, that I recall at least. Probably one of the, like we mentioned earlier, one of the last holdouts of the way they made movies in the late 90s and early 2000s. This is probably one of the last ones, right before elevated horror kind of took over the game. But I think I'll go a solid 3. I'll go 3 stars. I enjoyed it. Donnie, what do you say?
Yeah, I'm going to say, Tom Atkins is, he's good. And the rest of the cast is okay. Overall, it really doesn't really move the needle for me. I mean, the kills are pretty good, but to me, aside from the way Tom Atkins' character goes out, Sheriff Burt, not really anything special. I don't know. I think I know what your highlight kill is going to be, but aside from what I think it is, I don't know. I don't really know. Like I said, it doesn't really move the needle for me. For me to want to, watch it again, it has to be at least 3 stars in my book. This doesn't really get there, but it is, it's solid. I'm not gonna go quite as high as 3. I'm gonna say 2.5.
Tiana, what do you say?
I enjoy this one, of course, because I've seen it a few times, and I really hope to see it. I'd go and see it in the movie theater since they're playing it again, especially in 3D. That would be fun. But this one, I think because of the cast, it kind of works a lot better. And having Tom Atkins in it, even though he's not in it that much. But
yeah, you definitely wish he was in it a little more. But
yeah, And then the gore, man, you wouldn't expect that from this. But I'm going to give it 3 too. Also.
All right, Smoke, that leaves us with you. What do you say?
Yeah, like we were saying, I've seen this twice now. And the first time was because, Tiana had seen it in the theater in 3D before, back when it came out, and was telling me, like, she thought it was a good a good remake, and the 3D effects were cool, even though we're seeing it, we're going to be watching it 2D on video. So we watched it then, and I enjoyed it. And I would definitely go back in the theater though, like when it comes out, and if we get a chance to go see it, I wouldn't mind seeing it in 3D just to see how the effects were, because I can imagine it being pretty fun 3D movie. I mean, because of the gore scene, the blood and the gore flying at you, like the Tom Atkins jaw flying at you in 3D. I think the kills were pretty good, although some of them, like I said, were aftermath. Maybe that's where they were getting away with some of the gore at the time. They were showing some stuff like the jaw scene, but you get that, but you aren't going to get the entrails being ripped out of this. You'll get the aftermath of that one kill, but so it's like if you wanted to be unrated, maybe you would get all of that, right? But you have to compromise, I guess, at that time period. So some things they're letting some things fly and others not, probably. I mean, I remember Dawn of the Dead remake. Remember when that came out? And I'm sorry, take that back. Not the Dawn of the Dead remake, but Land of the Dead, Romero's sequel.
Oh yeah.
That he finally got around to doing, and I think that was around the same time, wasn't it, 2009 or 10?
Yeah.
Somewhere in there, I want to say.
Yeah.
I believe somewhere in there.
Yeah.
And it was, because I remember that came out unrated, and the only difference was there was a little bit more zombie chomping action in some of the scenes, right? So a little bit more cannibal zombie action, or whatever stuff. But for the most part, it had some decent amount of gore in it. So yeah, there's some compromises, I guess, going on there. But I think it was pretty gory, and the kills were cool, and the aftermath scenes were cool. That there was a little bit more of the Valentine heart in the box things than there was in the first movie. I think there's only that one scene, right, in the first one. But of course, I still love the first one better. And like you said, it's hard to get a remake that's better than the original. There's only a few of those I can think of. For me, The Thing comes to mind. The Blob is arguable. I mean, I like it as much as probably the original one. I don't know if it's better, but there's a few. So there are few and far between where you're going to get the remake being better, and that's the case here. It's not better than the original, but it is enjoyable. And if you're like somebody like me who is not all that enthralled with modern, basically post 2000 almost to now, I think that if you've never seen this one, you've avoided it, I think you give it a watch. You at least give it one watch, see what you think. I mean, it's better than a lot of remakes that were coming out at that same time. It's much better than House of Wax or 13 Ghosts, maybe not. Maybe I mean, I don't know. I didn't really like 13 Ghosts. And here's the other thing too for me. When these remakes, I didn't like them as much at the time when they came out. And I like them a little bit more now going back and watching them than I did at the time. And that's probably because, the more we get into the current era, the less I like more modern films now versus back then. So, the same thing. Things that were coming out then, I didn't like it. And I see them now and I like them a little bit better because of the shit I have to compare it to now.
So we just got to put anything you watch, you just have to put it in the past, and then maybe you'll like it a little bit more.
Maybe.
Put it more in the rearview mirror, and then you'll enjoy it.
But yeah, I enjoyed this one for what it was. I'd probably go with I'll go 2 3/4 on it.
Fair enough. So that brings us to a consensus of 2.8 out of 5 stars. So that's enough to say we recommend you check it out. It's at least worth one watch for sure if you haven't seen it. And yes,
hey, when I see it in the theater, maybe I'd give it a 3. Maybe I'll be reevaluating this if we happen to see it in 3D in the theater.
Oh yeah.
Come next end of this year or whatever.
Well, there we go. The anniversary show in October. You'll have your chance. We can swing back around and revisit that again.
Yeah.
You never know. So hopefully we get the chance. So there you go. My Bloody Valentine. So happy fucking Valentine's Day, to quote the great Tom Atkins. My Bloody Valentine.
He's always got at least one good one-liner in any horror movie he's in just about.
Yeah, and really he's only in the movie at the very beginning, and then he reappears about an hour or so in for 10, 15 minutes, and then, he gets de-jawed. So he's not very long for the movie, but he delivers that movie or that line right out the gate. So they had to give him one good one, right? Next week, actually, before we get to next week, I should remind everybody that this Friday is Friday the 13th. So keeping up with our recent tradition of Friday the 13th, we are doing a special bonus episode that will come out on the feed and everywhere else, YouTube, all that jazz, this Friday, Friday the 13th. And we're going to be talking about Friday the 13th, the final chapter from 1984. So we finally worked our way up to the 4th Jason movie.
That's right. And the first one that didn't have the actual numeral in the title.
Yeah, it's just the final chapter, yeah. So yeah, we'll be talking about that this Friday, and then next Monday on the regular podcast episode is our latest Cult Corner, And Donnie, I think this is one that I think you nominated this. I don't remember who nominated, but I think you did. It's The Last Dragon.
I've nominated it previously.
Okay.
But
I know this thing has come up a couple of times.
I think I,
Yeah,
oh,
that
yeah,
would be
oh, yeah,
Smoke.
that's right.
Okay.
That's right. I think I did because we were like trying to. I had to come up with one real quick because I hadn't come up with one yet, and I'm like, have we done Last Dragon? I
Yeah.
think it's been on the wheel. I know Donnie's put it on the wheel. I may have even put it on the wheel in the past.
Hell,
and
I
then
probably have
finally
too. It's come up
landed.
multiple
Yeah.
times, so we're finally
Finally
getting to The
landed.
Last Dragon. So next Monday, here on the podcast, we'll be talking about that. So there you go.
You're forgetting something.
Oh, wait a minute. I haven't completely forgot. I just got ahead of my skis. That's all.
Okay.
That's all.
I was like,
I haven't forgotten. Don't worry. So it seems like you're itching to give us that kill count. So go ahead and
oh, yeah,
go ahead and give us that number.
This one has 30 kills.
30.
It has, and it even had the first 20 kills are within 10 minutes of that film.
Yeah, I can believe it. They really do. Like, that's one thing that I did, we didn't talk about that much, but that's one thing I did appreciate about this movie is that it gets right fucking to it.
Yeah.
And like, even that time jump stuff, like, because if you think about it, it gets to quite a bit happens in the first, 20 minutes. And then it kind of slows down a little bit, takes you into the characters. And then we get right back to the killing. But like, I did like pacing wise. I did like that about this movie is that like, boom, let's just get to it. We've all come here to see a movie called My Bloody Valentine in 3D. That's why we're all here. Let's get to it. Let's see it, So I appreciated that. Yeah. 30, that's probably about right.
The only ones that were off screen were the ones in the mine. At some point there was something, a mention of maybe 6 or 7 not in the mine, but
the ones that were off screen that I said was the unborn child, and I was like,
because somebody was pregnant when they got killed. So,
yeah, the girl.
The girl,
she's pregnant with Axel.
Yeah,
we didn't even talk about how shitty Axel was.
He's a piece of shit.
But
like story wise,
everything's fine because his unborn child and that girl's killed now. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and then when she gets killed, his wife is like, "Yeah, I knew about it." What?
I'm a piece of shit too.
Yeah, I'm a piece of shit.
What can I say? It's 2007 or 9 or whatever it was. 2000.
Donnie, before I give the highlight kill, we need to get your connections. I almost actually did forget about that. So go ahead and go ahead and throw your connections out there.
Connections from the crypt.
Yeah, so got a couple of cast and then one crew. Tom Atkins was also in Creepshow when we covered that. That was some time ago.
Yeah.
And Bingo O'Malley, which is a great name. He played the deputy, the older fella. He was also in Creepshow. And, this has actually come up a couple of times on the podcast since we've recorded this episode. But Kerr Smith was in, who played Axel. He was in the Into the Dark Pilgrim episode that we covered some Thanksgivings ago.
You can't hear Colin at a certain point, but when you say something like Into the Dark Pilgrim, it's
no.
There's no comma there. There's no, you don't really you don't hear the Colin that's there.
Yeah.
Into the Dark Pilgrim.
Into the Dark Pilgrim.
Into the Dark.
Yeah. That's funny.
Oh yeah, well, that went a whole different way. But that punctuation is like some kind of weird dark John Wayne movie or something.
Yeah.
Into the Dark Pilgrim.
Pilgrim.
Yeah, and then so that's the cast side. On the crew side, we've got makeup effects designer Gary J. Tunnicliffe. He did 6 Hellraiser movies that we've covered. He also did Ginger Snaps and The Exorcist Believer that we covered a couple of years ago.
I don't think I've liked any of this man's work.
Yeah.
Like everything you just said was just,
Ooh. Yeah, well, there's this movie. So
Yeah, well, that's a highlight compared to those other ones. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
All right, so speaking of highlights, the highlight kill. Let's talk about the kill reel.
Highlight kill.
It's got to be Tom Atkins getting dejawed.
Yeah.
And I do think that's saying a lot because there's a couple of pretty good ones in here. But that one, yeah. How often are you going to see some dude's jaw flying at you in 3D? You know, after they make you sit there and watch the pickaxe through his mouth for a second, like, gung, 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 and then, you know. Yeah, there we go. That's what I'm going with. So that leads us to the gore score, Smoke.
Gore score.
Oh yeah, there's no. It's this one's up there. I'm not gonna give it a 10 because let's just say it would get a higher score if some of the kills weren't off screen or weren't out of frame or aftermath kills or whatever. But again, I think that's just the nature of R rating at the time. So this movie definitely had to have pushed the R rating as far as they could. So I think I'll go with that 8. It's up there.
Yeah. It was a surprising amount, honestly. Like, I remembered some aspects of that, but like it had been so long since when I saw it, I was like, wow, okay. This was gorier than I remembered. So yeah. It's fun because
it's just, like I said, some of them are aftermath stuff, so it's still gory, but you're not getting that full, it would have gotten a 9 or 10 had it been fully uncut and they went all the way with those, with the rest of those kills too.
Yeah. A little gore can go a long way because I can tell you right now, if you take it out of this movie,
yeah.
I don't like it so much.
Yep.
No.
This is a clear-cut example of that, of like when to use more gore than not. You know what I'm saying? Because there's some movies you can get away with as long as the storyline is real strong, and you can get away with not. You can even maybe get away with a PG-13 horror movie that I usually don't like or a lot of people hate if you have a really good storyline to go with it. But
exactly.
if you have a lackluster one, then at least spicing it up with gore helps.
So there you go. That's my Bloody Valentine, and that's our final word. Now, like I said, remember, this Friday, we're going to be talking about Friday the 13th, final chapter, part 4, 1984. That's our bonus episode. But then next Monday, Colt Corner, The Last Dragon. So yeah, things are looking up, right? Not that this was bad.
Things are glowing. Yeah, I might say
going even harder. So, for Donnie, Tiana, Professor Smoke, I'm Josh. We are the All American Spook Show, and we'll talk to you next week.
Please replace the speaker on its rack when you're ready to leave. Failure to do so will damage both the speaker and your car. We'll be grateful, and so will the patrons who follow you.